Scientists just tested human testicles for tiny pieces of plastic, and they found plastic in every single sample they tested. Not some, not most, every single one. Researchers at the University of New Mexico tested both human and dog samples. Here's the kicker. Humans had more plastic than the dogs did. Let that sink in for a moment. We're carrying more plastic in our bodies than our pets. These aren't just random body parts we're talking about. These are the organs responsible for creating the next generation. And we've got a real problem on our hands. The researchers found 12 different types of microplastics in every sample. The most common? Polyethylene. That's the stuff in plastic bags and bottles. But they also found PVC, which is even more worrying because of the chemicals it releases. Now here's a statistic you might have heard before, but maybe haven't fully absorbed. Men today have half the sperm count that men had 50 years ago. Read that again. That's a 50% drop in just 2 generations. Half of men's reproductive capability gone in the span of a typical career. Plastic isn't the only factor here. There are other environmental and lifestyle changes at play. But when you find plastic in 100% of samples and fertility drops by 50% over the same time period, that's a correlation that's becoming impossible to ignore. What exactly are microplastics? They are particles smaller than 5 millimeters. Think smaller than a grain of rice. Some are even tinier, called nanoplastics. These are so microscopic that they can cross biological barriers that are supposed to protect sensitive areas of your body. There's something called the blood-testis barrier. It's like a security checkpoint that's supposed to keep harmful substances out. But nanoplastics? They're small enough to slip right through. And once they're inside, they don't just sit there collecting dust. They're biologically active, meaning they interact with your body's systems. Here's where things get technical, but stay with me because this is important. Plastics, like PVC, contain what scientists call endocrine disrupting chemicals. The main culprits are phthalates and bisphenols. You might have heard of BPA. These chemicals mimic estrogen in your body. When you introduce an estrogen impersonator into a male hormonal environment, you get direct interference with testosterone production. Scientists call these anti-androgenic effects. Basically, these chemicals work against male hormones, and the consequences go way beyond fertility. We're talking lower energy levels, increased inflammation, and metabolic issues. You're essentially carrying around a constant low-level chemical exposure that's fighting against your body's natural processes every single day. So, where is it coming from? The answer is both frustrating and important to understand. Everywhere. But we can narrow it down to the biggest offenders so you can actually do something about it. First, the water supply. Research from Orbed Media found that over 80% of tap water samples globally contain microplastics. If you're drinking unfiltered tap water, you're drinking plastic fibers with every glass. But here's where it gets ironic. Bottled water is often worse. Studies found that bottled water can contain twice as much microplastic as tap water. Why? Because the packaging itself breaks down into the water over time. Think about it. That bottle sitting on a store shelf in a hot delivery truck, the plastic is slowly degrading into the very water it's supposed to protect. Next, the food chain. It's not just seafood. The biggest issue is often how we eat, not just what we eat. Heating food in plastic containers acts as a catalyst. When you microwave leftovers in plastic, the heat causes the chemicals to leach directly into your food. It's happening faster than you think. And finally, the air you breathe. This is the exposure route most people miss. If you live with synthetic carpets or wear fast fashion polyester clothing, You're surrounded by microscopic plastic dust. Every step you take on that carpet, every time you pull on that synthetic shirt, tiny fibers break off and float into the air. And since we spend 90% of our time indoors, that's a lot of exposure. Now, before we get to solutions, I want to introduce you to a term, body burden. Think of it like a bucket. Every day, you're adding drops of toxins. Your body works hard to empty that bucket through your liver and kidneys. But if you're adding more than you're removing, the bucket starts to overflow. The good news? You can tip the balance. Here is your defense strategy. Step 1. Filter your water. A standard pitcher filter isn't going to cut it. You need a reverse osmosis system, or RO for short. It blocks contaminants down to nearly the molecular level. If that's outside your budget, look for a carbon block filter that explicitly lists microplastic reduction. And crucially, store your filtered water in glass or stainless steel. Step 2. Sweat it out. Can you actually sweat out plastic? Evidence suggests yes. Studies show sweat is a potential route for eliminating flame retardants and BPA. So use a sauna or engage in high-intensity exercise. You're physically helping your body push out waste products through your skin. Step 3. The fiber strategy. If you don't have enough fiber in your diet, toxins in your gut can get reabsorbed back into your bloodstream. It's like taking out the trash, but then bringing it back inside. Eat soluble fiber like oats, beans, and broccoli to bind those toxins and escort them out. Step 4. Activated charcoal. Used strategically, maybe once a week, this can act as a gut sweep to catch toxins. Just don't take it every day, as it binds to nutrients too. Step 5. Clean your air. Open your windows daily. Get a vacuum with a HEPA filter to trap particles rather than blowing them back out. And when you buy new clothes, aim for natural fibers like cotton, linen, or wool. The University of New Mexico's study isn't just a scary headline. It's a warning signal. But here's what keeps me optimistic. Biology is resilient. For men specifically, sperm cycles regenerate, roughly every 72 to 90 days. That means the choices you make today can literally change your biological markers in 3 months. You don't need to implement everything at once. Progress, not perfection. Share this information with the men in your life who need to hear it. This isn't something to be embarrassed about. It's an environmental issue that affects everyone. Be proactive, protect your biology, and take control of what you can control. Subscribe for more content like this.